Howdy, internet friends, lovers, and other strangers. Those of you who can understand that reference are probably around my age, and the rest of you are looking at me like I'm stalking you. I can't blame you for that. Anyhow, I was asked by my friend Amy Clark to post up a video of me explaining the story of the time that my son threw up into my underwear. I don't usually put up stories or things about my kids unless they give me specific permission. I make an exception for when they are under 1 year old because everything you do is embarrassing when you're 1 year old. Anyhow, basically what happened is he would get his bottle at night and mom would take care of the majority of the feeding, and at night he would get, at this point, a bottle of whole milk before he went down to bed. Whole milk being more nutritious and having fats in it and all that good stuff, all the things that a growing boy needs. So I would give him that bottle of milk. It was a really nice time because he would sit there and cuddle up in my arms, and Dad got the chance to feed him, and I got the chance to see that warm and smiley face, and took some stress off of my wife. Friday night was game night. Didn't change our pattern. You don't want to change them with babies as much as you possibly can. So, despite the fact that we had a gaming group of, I think, 5 or 6 people at that time, I'm still standing there holding him and feeding him the bottle. Now, we'd moved around a lot that night in terms of like things that already happened. I think we'd gotten takeout, and people were coming in and out of the house and stuff. So it was all kind of moving around. And apparently, we didn't realize that the milk was a little bit off. Like, not really off. It was just kind of a couple days before its best before date, and maybe had been left on the counter for like 30 seconds too long. A little funky. And we didn't realize this, and Graham still just like gobbled the stuff down. Drank the entire bottle. He was just fine. I actually had to stop him halfway through so that I could kind of burp him and make sure we didn't have too much of an accident or anything. And I threw the burp cloth over my shoulder when he was done, and I'm walking away, and he is tired as all heck because he's got a nice full belly and everything. And he's falling asleep on my shoulder as he usually does. He's a really great kid for this. I got the burp cloth over my shoulder. I pat his back, and parents know the difference in sound here. Any of you who are parents recognize the difference between your child spitting up and your child throwing up. Even at a very young age, you grasp this sound. And this was throwing up. And I immediately felt warm straight down my back, all the way into my tidy whities. And I'm standing there in front of a group of my friends with just vomit straight down my back. Chunky milk vomit all the way down. One of the guys in the gaming group was like 19, 20 years old. He freaked the heck out. He had to get out of the house and like put his head between his knees so that he could cope with the stress and the nausea that this was causing him. And I'm like, dude, I'm the one who's going through this. So he's still on my shoulder. I take him upstairs. I'm wiping him off. I'm using like every wipe in the changing room to try and clean him up and get him ready for bed. He was fine. He wasn't fussy. He was still sleepy and everything. He was perfectly fine. I just needed to get to bed, and I was trying to make things as normal as I could. Now, this is the actual moment, as I'm standing up there in this room, that I realize just how bad the circumstances actually are. Because I only thought that he'd like thrown up down my back. Now I realize that there's chunks sliding into places that should not be. And I'm a full room away from the place where I can do anything about this myself. So, with my friends downstairs, I had to call my wife upstairs to help me sort out getting the necessary clothes and everything, and getting everybody to understand, okay, everybody stay here while Jim throws on a robe, goes and takes a shower, and then comes out to join us for the rest of the evening. They were very accommodating. They were very nice about it. By the time I got back there, the young 19-year-old man was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need to like lie down or anything?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm a dad. This is just a thing that happens. It's no big deal." But it was hilarious, the look on his face. And that is the story of the night that my son threw up down my pants. Good night, Internet.